Hi, this is Anne Cullen here with another teachable moment. And I have something really important that I'm going to be talking about in this video. And that is my top 7 tips for you. This is not about your baby, your children, or anybody else. It's all about you, because if we as mothers or parents in general don't look after ourselves, there's just no way that we can parent the way that we truly want to parent. I don't want you to just be a mother or a father. I want you to be the best mother or father you possibly can be. And even more than that, I want you to enjoy this journey that you're on. So here I go with my top 7 tips. And of course, there can be plenty of other ideas. So come up with your own ways of looking after yourself and let me know what you do. So my first tip is appreciation. This is a huge, huge one, and I've put it first on purpose. We have to appreciate anything we can around us. Remember, what you focus on grows. So if you're constantly complaining and focusing on what you want to be different, what you don't like about your life, what you don't like about your children, what you don't like about yourself, what you don't like about your partner, what you don't like about the weather, guess what? You're not going to get positive outcomes. So my first tip to you is focus in your life on what you can appreciate, whatever is around you. And if you're doing really badly in the moment, this can be a bit harder. So if you need to start with just appreciating that there is enough air on the planet for you to breathe, then go that big, go that general. For many of us, we can appreciate the beautiful smell of our baby's head. We can appreciate that we have a roof over our heads on a rainy day. Today I would appreciate having a heater that was working, but I'm still in my warm house and I have this lovely warm jersey on keeping me warm when my heater is not working. Okay, so number one, focus on appreciation. Number two, we need to be realistic. This is a hard road sometimes. Being a parent is not easy. And I think one of the things that makes it harder than anything else we've done is, one, our emotional attachment to our children, and two, the fact that it lasts forever. You never lose connection to your child. You never stop worrying. You never stop your concern. These things are with you forever, no matter what. So we really need to be realistic about what we can accomplish every day, what our children should be able to do. And the biggest one I see with this is probably young children and sleep or other kind of dependency needs. So being realistic that many children under the age of 3 are still waking overnight, for example, and that this is a realistic thing for them to be doing, and often much older. So having realistic expectations of our children. So this comes down to really knowing and getting all this good information that you are getting about your children, but it's also being realistic about what you can do. Just because you were running marathons before you had children doesn't mean that you need to run marathons now. Things have changed, things are different, and even if you thought you were going to be one of those people that didn't change because you were a parent, guess what? It's just not possible. So be realistic and find acceptance that this is my child right now, this is life right now. Find those appreciations and those areas to be happy about and accept your life. The third one, this is huge, stay in the moment. It can be so easy to do one of two things. We either ruminate and go over and over the past and focus on what we should have done differently, how we wish things were different, worry about what we said, worry about what we have done or haven't done, or we think about the future and think about all the things that are going to happen later today, or going to happen later this week, or all the what ifs. So we have these what ifs and these shoulds and if only and all these things going on, but the only moment that matters is actually right now. So I have 2 questions that you can ask yourself to get yourself back in the moment when you notice an area or a time when you're feeling stressed, anxious, angry, or any way that you don't want to be feeling. So there's two questions you can ask yourself, and they're kind of the same. But one would be, what can I do right now? And the other is, what do I need right now? And that one for some people might be a little bit harder, but if you're a little bit more in tune with yourself, you might be able to figure out what you actually need right in that moment. And a lot of people will say things like, oh, I just need my child to stop screaming. Okay. Well, we can't control sometimes what's going on outside of ourselves. So saying to yourself, what can I do right now? When your child is screaming, for example, can help you really in the moment. So that's my third tip, is about staying in the moment. The fourth tip is to make a me time list and keep it somewhere where you can get to it readily. So some of you are the type that want to write things out and have them on the fridge or up on a board, or by your bedside. Some of you might just want to type one out in your phone in the notes section or something. But have a list, and on your list you need to have things that range from as short and easy as taking 5 deep breaths, for example. Could be a really, really basic one for self-care and me time. And it's a great one because you can do that anywhere, anytime, and it really does calm your body. And then it can be things that might be 20 minutes, like sitting down to read a chapter of a book. It could be maybe you're at the point where you can get out for an hour and a half and go to the spa. Maybe you're at a point in your life where you're ready to go on an overnight trip away with the girlfriends or with your partner or whatever it might be. So the me time list is going to be really, really varied. And here's where you should really get into all the things you could possibly do. And again, going back to the idea of being really realistic, what you can actually do in your life right now in the next month or so. What kinds of things would feel nourishing, would feel restful, would feel peaceful, would bring you joy and excitement and fun? So make that list. So then once you've made the list, my top tip number 5 is schedule your time in. So the great thing about having that list is you can use it in a moment. So sometimes you might find yourself with a moment and you're trying to think, oh, what can I do with this time? And that's fine. That's a great time to have that me time list, just in the spur of the moment when you need something for yourself and you don't want to have to think about all the things you could do. But you have to make yourself a priority. You have to book these things in. And yes, sometimes it could be a massage that you book in, but it also needs to be things that it could be, maybe you want to study something. Maybe there's a podcast you love to look at. Maybe there's a TV show that you want to binge watch, and you're going to schedule that into your day. So, really schedule it in. And exercise should be one of those things. But the good news about exercise is probably movement's a better way to think about it. It can be anything. It can be simple stretching. It can be dancing. It can be going for a walk. It can be joining a class. It doesn't mean, again, that if you used to run marathons, you need to start training again. But we know movement improves mood. And if you need a buddy, get a buddy and do your movement time together. But plan your self-care into your day and make it a priority. Number 6, is finding a supportive group. We can't do this alone. We live in this society where most of us live in single-family homes without extended family or friends living literally in our homes with us. So we have to seek it out. We have to get people around us who can understand us. So yes, it's great to have people. If you need to get people in to do your cleaning and your cooking and the practical side of things, that's part of it. But really it's about, who can I be honest with? Who can I talk to about my day that really gets what I'm going through? If you're a gentle parent and want to be responsive to your children, are you communicating with other people that also value the same things as you? So your values really come into finding that supportive group. And the very last thing, and often the hardest, and the one that some of us want to just skip right over, is we need to heal from the past. We need to remember that everything that's happened to us is actually remembered in our minds. Our brains have like a library filled with books and files from everything that's happened to us, everything we've experienced, you know, touched, seen, felt. It's all in there. And sometimes what happens in our parenting, our children are wonderful triggers for some of that stuff to come up with that we haven't dealt with for a long time. And if we have let that go, and it could be a big trauma, or it could just be small things. It could be that our beautiful subconscious mind has put it so far in the back of the files that we don't even know what it is that's triggering us. We just maybe know that we're feeling a little bit more anxious than we want. We might be yelling at our kids more than we want. We might be angry with our partner and can't even really grasp why. We might be finding it hard to reach out for help or be honest with people. You might be crying a lot. It's not necessarily that you've got postnatal anxiety or any kind of depression, although you might. But this is just recognizing that every single one of us carries through into our parenting, you know, the past. So healing from the past is my last and most important tip of really how to be looking after yourself. So make sure to get help when you need it. Seek out that tribe. Schedule yourself into your day, because you know you don't matter any more than anybody else on the planet, but you do matter just as much. So make yourself count, get yourself back on the list, and start today. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you next time. Bye.